The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRCMedia, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
This week on FRCmedia News, how did Fall River vote in this week's state election? We have the unofficial results. A local Veterans Association is recognized by the state's Secretary of Veterans Services. And SRTA celebrates 50 years of providing public transportation to the South Coast. All this and more coming up. It's Thursday, November 7th, 2024. This is FRCmedia News. I'm Keith Tebow. Approximately 47% of Fall River voters cast ballots in this year's state election. That's local history when it comes to residents' preference for president. Here's how Fall River voted. Former President Donald Trump carried the city of Fall River, earning nearly 15,000 votes, about 900 votes more than Vice President Kamala Harris. It's the first time in at least 50 years that Fall River preferred a Republican for president. U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren earned a third term in office, defeating Republican John Deaton by a comfortable margin.
12 years ago, you took a chance on a candidate who had never run for public office. You sent me to Washington to fight for working people and middle-class families. And time after time, we fought side by side. Over those 12 years together, we have delivered big wins, and more than once, we have reminded people that government can be harnessed to work, not just for the wealthy and well-connected, but that we can actually make government work for the people.
Congressman Jake Auchincloss earned another term after running unopposed. Governor's Councilor Joseph Ferreira will return for another stint on the council, defeating Kristen Condon. State Senator Michael Roderick, 6th Bristol Rep. Carol Fiola, and 7th Bristol Rep. Alan Sylvia will be back on Beacon Hill after not facing a challenger. There's a new state representative in the 8th Bristol District, as Democrat Stephen Willett defeated 4 other candidates not only in Fall River, but district-wide. Jennifer Sullivan and Bernard McDonald will return as Clerk of Courts and Register of Deeds, while incumbent County Commissioner John Mitchell was reelected, along with Democratic newcomer Julie Ruggiero. Fall River voters mimicked the rest of the state on its views on the 5 ballot questions. Voters voted yes to give the state auditor the authority to audit the state legislature, eliminate the requirements that passing the MCAS is required to graduate high school, and allow Uber and Lyft drivers the ability to unionize. Voters rejected an initiative to legalize psychedelics and raise the minimum wage for tipped workers. Fall River Election Commission Chair Ryan Lyons says there were no problems at the polls and voters took advantage of mail and early in-person voting.
Overall, we had a very busy 2-week session of in-person early voting with about 2,600 people coming to Government Center to vote early in person, and about 8,500 mail-in ballots were returned to my office. And today, the lines were wrapped around Government Center in all 27 of our voting precincts. It was a beautiful day. The polling precincts were very busy. I started my travels probably about 6:30 this morning. It was great to see people, really participating in this election.
Mayor Paul Coogan reacted to the election, surprised by President-elect Trump's strong showing within the city.
I know there was an article last week on BUR which talked about how conservative Fall River was and how people were going to support Trump. I didn't really believe it, but it came out to be that. And we had a tremendous turnout yesterday and people got to express themselves. It's obviously not the results I wanted, but I understand that elections have consequences, and this is one of them. And we'll go forward from here and hope it works out. It was an interesting election between the ballot questions and the national races, so it was something to see.
The mayor supported the elimination of MCAS as a graduation requirement, but said the state needs to work on creating a new standard to measure proficiency.
Kids are up there taking the tests and they don't even know if there's any value to taking it. I don't know when this law goes into effect. We were trying to find that out. Is it immediately? Is it upon certification? Is it January 1? So those are things they have to work out, letting us know that when this MCAS waiver or this MCAS pause is going to go into effect. Again, I have no problem with assessing kids, but I have a tremendous problem with it taking 16 hours out of the education cycle for that test every year. It's really a strain on almost every school in the state, especially your gateway cities and your urban communities. It's a whole nother level of work that people just don't understand.
At a city council meeting this week, it was learned that the Coogan administration is speaking with the American Numismatic Society, which houses a museum on the study of ancient coins, to move their operations from New York City to the Bank Street Armory.
We have a museum out in New York that's interested in locating there. I spoke with the gentleman on Friday, and he was telling me a couple of the challenges they have. I told him we could work through them, but it would be a tremendous asset to downtown Fall River if this company would relocate from New York City proper. He explained to me that the costs of doing business in New York was so prohibitive that he wanted to locate here, and he's been through that building 2 or 3 times. He now has an architect reviewing plans, and as I said, hopefully we can get it done. There are still some questions. It's probably a 50-50 thing right now, but at the same time, the city will do everything we can to encourage them to come this way. It would be great. I mean, right off the highway, it's a tremendous collection of coins, and hopefully we can get this done.
The Diocese of Fall River late last week issued a letter to the community with an update on the status of Father J. Mello, the pastor of St. Michael's and St. Joseph's churches, who's been on administrative leave since June following information about alleged sexual misconduct that did not involve a minor. In the letter, Bishop Edgar de Cunha sought to provide some clarification. Quote, "While I would not normally provide this detailed of an update until the conclusion of the investigation, I am prompted to do so because there have been a number of false claims and rumors causing confusion based on the belief that Father Mello has been unfairly placed on leave. This confusion is now disrupting the school environment," the bishop wrote. "I feel it is necessary to inform your parish and school communities of an important development in the investigation in that Father Mello recently admitted to serious sexual misconduct which began while counseling an adult parishioner." The bishop said the investigation continues and is expected to be concluded early next year. On Friday, parishioners of the 2 churches and students from St. Michael's School held a peaceful protest outside the diocesan offices in support of Father Mello. St. Joseph's parishioner Natalie Mello said the diocese has provided limited communication with the community about the status of the investigation.
Shame on the bishop. Why did he not meet with the parishioners of the school, the parishioners of the school, of the students, parents of the students, parishioners of St. Michael's, parishioners of St. Joseph's, warn us ahead of time and say, listen, this is what's going on. We had some kind of complaint. We need to follow up, blah, 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 and go from there. Why did we get everything secondhand? It's only fair. We are parishioners of these churches. We are Catholic religion people. Isn't it fair that they could have had a meeting to explain to us what a code of conduct is, instead of letting people assume that he did nasty stuff? That was so wrong. That degraded this man. This face is all over these states. I even got calls from family from Florida. What is going on with poor Father Jay? That man's brought so many people back and this and that. That's wrong. You don't defame somebody like that. It's so wrong.
Ms. Mello said that Father Mello, no relation, has revitalized the parishes and more information should be shared with parishioners.
We've asked, we've had people meet with the diocese. No one's given us any information. We're not here. We're not here to hurt the bishop. We're not here to hurt Father Jay. We just want to know facts. We care about our religion. Is this back in the subway? I was telling today to somebody, I don't think I want to go to church anymore. These powerful people are forgetting about us little people here. These kids pay a lot of money. These families pay a lot of money for these kids to go to school. Where's the empathy for these parents? Where's the respect for these parents? It's not right, Keith. It is not right. It's disrespectful to these parents who pay an arm and a leg to go to these schools. It's disrespectful.
Also in his letter, Bishop DeCunha asked for continued prayers for Father Mello from those who support him. Massachusetts Secretary of Veterans Services John Santiago paid a visit to Fall River yesterday at a cookout for veterans at the Veterans Association of Bristol County's headquarters on Pine Street. VABC Executive Director Ken Levesque says the organization uses its resources to provide meaningful and compassionate support to veterans during and after active duty. Many times, veterans are in need of services to make ends meet.
Right now, we are doing anywhere between 425, usually about 450 food pantries a month. So that's 450 veterans and their families that are receiving a full grocery cart of food from us. And then we also have a bunch of other programs that we offer. We've got our health and wellness program where we just went kayaking, last month, and I had 26 veterans go kayaking, a group kayaking. And we just continue to grow and do those types of things to offer the veterans. I have about 100 veterans a day that come through the door here on Pine Street.
Secretary Santiago says he's been at the VABC twice in the last few weeks, hearing from veterans on their needs while sharing the state's commitment to funding veteran service programs.
Well, we've had a strong tradition here in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts in supporting our veterans. But what we've been able to do over the past year and a half, 2 years, because of the leadership of Governor Healy, Lieutenant Governor Driscoll, is really transform, usher in a new era of veteran services. We passed the HERO Act alongside our legislative colleagues, the most comprehensive piece of veterans legislation in the history of the Commonwealth. We had the largest investment in veteran homelessness, $20 million. We have transformed our veteran homes. We are doing more. We are investing more in veterans than ever before, and we are engaging more with our veteran community than ever before. And we're excited about the work we're doing. There is more to do. The job is never done as long as there are sailors and Marines and soldiers out there serving our country. But we're excited to be here in Fall River, connecting with our veterans and connecting with our local delegation.
The Secretary used the occasion to announce that the VABC will be receiving recognition for its work in the form of an award named after a famous Fall River decorated veteran.
The leadership from Kenny, the board, the staff here, that we can do amazing things when we come together. So it's really an honor to partner with them, to invest in them alongside our legislative delegation, just to highlight the work that they're doing. So they're being awarded the Thomas Hudner Award, a local down here, a former Medal of Honor recipient, a former Secretary of Veteran Services for the Commonwealth, just to thank him for the amazing work that him and his staff have been doing for a very long time.
Mr. Levesque says he appreciates the support the state has given to the VABC, money that helps veterans connect with other veterans.
We have a coffee social every day where we set up the coffee, and that allows them to just come in the camaraderie. They can just sit with other veterans. They like to joke that they're solving all the world's problems, in the back room. Now we have our new patio back here where we're set up today. They come out, they have coffee. We have a peer group on Monday nights. The peer group has used the patio when it's when it's the warmer weather. They sit out here and they run the peer group. So we're maximizing the space the best that we can, and exactly what you said, it gives the camaraderie, just the coffee social, it gives them a space. And that's all we wanted. We wanted a veteran center where veterans can come. They might not necessarily need anything other than to be around other veterans. And that's what we really strive to be.
Fall River's Veterans Day festivities will kick off Monday at noon with a ceremony at the War Veterans Monument at the upper end of Kennedy Park. The annual Veterans Day Parade will step off at 1 p.m. from Kennedy Park down South Main Street to Government Center, followed by a Veterans Day ceremony held inside the atrium at Government Center. Sewer line replacement along Oak Grove Avenue between New Boston Road and Locust Street will begin next week. Work will begin next Tuesday and last for several months. During that time, portions of Oak Grove Avenue and the intersecting streets may be closed to traffic. Motorists are asked to seek alternate routes if possible during the road closures, and detours will be made available. Water, sewer, and gas service may be temporarily impacted during the construction period, with notice given to individual properties in advance of any interruptions. For further information on this project, you can contact the Sewer Division at 508-324-2320. We'll have more FRC Media News after this.
Here are some job descriptions on the latest hot jobs list from the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center. Merchandise Assistant Manager. Dollar Tree, located at 529 Quarry Street, seeks a full-time Merchandise Assistant Manager, responsible for assisting with merchandising, freight processing, and all store functions delegated by the store manager. Job number 216-87857. Occupational Therapist. Centerwell Home Health, located at 275 Martine Street, is seeking a full-time occupational therapist to treat disabled, ill, or injured patients using special equipment and therapeutic activities. Job number 216-78549. Logistics Analyst. Republic Services, located at 1080 Airport Road, is looking for a full-time logistics analyst, responsible for the coordination and utilization of drivers, trucks, and containers. Job number 216-88364. Crew Member. Picture Show Entertainment, located at 550 William S. Canning Boulevard, is looking for a part-time crew member. For more information, call 774-955-5452. Taco Bell, located at 150 Plymouth Avenue, has an immediate need for the following full and part-time positions. Hourly Assistant Manager, job number 216-88576. Shift Lead, job number 216-88652. For more information about these or other positions, visit Mass Hire JobQuest at jobquest.dcs.eol.mass.gov or call the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center at 508-730-5000.
Welcome back. The Southeastern Regional Transit Authority is celebrating 50 years of serving the public transportation needs of residents on the South Coast. At an event last Friday at UMass Dartmouth, Massachusetts Secretary of Transportation Monica Tibbetts-Nutt spoke on SRTA's impact on providing safe and reliable public transportation within the region.
The SRTA cares deeply about their employees, and being able to celebrate 50 years here is a really exciting day. We have 15 RTAs, and they all serve very different regions. This region in particular, it is so important because they're really cut off. And when I talk about the RTAs, when I say they are cut off, these are people that don't have any other option but to drive. And if you can't afford a car, that dictates your entire life. It really does. It dictates where you can grocery shop, where you can work, where you can send your kids to school. It dictates everything. And so being able to have an RTA like the SRTA makes a community even better than it would have been otherwise. And people really count on this. And I think anyone that's ever talked to anyone that uses this service, they just rave about all the places that they can go. And especially now that the service has been extended in hours, that has really changed the fabric of the communities that it operates in.
Earlier this year, SRTA was able to offer fare-free service and reintroduce a Sunday schedule thanks to an increased infusion of funds from the state legislature.
Everything is not the MBTA in Massachusetts, right? And we hear a lot of talk, and I see a lot of head shaking every day about how much we need to invest in the MBTA. And we do, and we will. But we also cannot forget the 15 regional transit authorities around the Commonwealth that provide service to these areas, to those areas. For years, in the operating budget, the state support was about $94 million for all of our RTAs. I'm happy to say that this year, in this year's budget, we did, through general operating funds, appropriate $94 million, but we supplemented that with $110 million from the so-called Fair Share Amendment, for a total of $204 million of state support for our RTAs statewide. And through the effective and efficient leadership and management from folks like Eric and Mary Ellen, you know, we are very, very confident that our RTAs are just moving into the 21st century, really on a good foot, and we will maintain our investment and our commitments to our RTAs.
Fall River and New Bedford are the largest communities that benefit from SRTA service. Mayor Paul Coogan says the authority meets the needs of hundreds of city residents daily.
But in Fall River, between their rapid response, helping our disabled people get to doctor's appointments, shopping, it's 5 stars. And every day they transport hundreds and hundreds of students from all over the city to Durfee High School. And that is a challenge in and of itself. When you're dealing with teenagers, at the beginning of the day, they're a little slow. At the end of the day, they're all amped up because they're leaving school. God bless them, and good luck to Eric. But they are a hands-on organization. They bring exactly what we need to this city of Fall River, and their partnerships with the federal, state, has welded into something that's going to be very special going forward. We know they'll be working with us on our bus routes, on our train routes, and anything we can do to make Fall River better.
We'll wrap up this edition of FRC Media News right after this.
Hi, welcome to Hot Dogs and Cool Cats. Today we have Cypher. Cypher here is a 4-year-old husky. She actually came to us as an owner surrender. Unfortunately, her owner could no longer, afford to take care of her anymore. So she came here to look for a new home. She's been very good while she's been here. She loves people. Has been doing good with everybody. Volunteers taking her out for walking. All the staff during medicals and everything. We've also tested her with cats and dogs. We don't have a history with her with cats. And she was a little pushy with the cats. So we're recommending for her no cats in the home. She does pretty good with the dogs though. So if you're interested in coming to meet her, you can come down to 300 Linwood Street in Fall River, Massachusetts at Forever Paws Animal Shelter. Today we are showing Bo Peep. Bo Peep is a female 4-year-old. She's a domestic long hair. Mostly gray. She's got a little bit of white here and there on her, but she is mostly gray. She's not big on being like a lap cat, at least not at this point in her life. The kinds of houses she would do well in, I think normal, everyday, home, average kind of energy would be good. She might not do well with low energy houses, just because even at 4, she can still be very playful. Higher energy homes where we got kids, some younger kids, running around, that sort of thing. She doesn't do very well with dogs, so unfortunately she has to go to a home that doesn't have dogs. She does well with the other cats, so other cats in the home would be just fine. As far as children are concerned, she can go home with kids. I would personally recommend 8+ with her. So if you'd like to come down and meet Miss Bo Peep, you can come down to 300 Linwood Street in Fall River, Massachusetts at Forever Paws Animal Shelter.
My name is David Perry. I'm the president of the Greater Fall River Food Pantry. And what we do here is we provide food to clients that are in need. We're always trying to get more people involved in what we're doing, and we're trying to concentrate on youth. And it's all about helping people, and that's what we should all be doing, is helping someone. So it's a great opportunity for them to, come down here and give us a couple of hours a week. It's not long, it's 2 hours a day. And once they start volunteering, it's like a family, it really is. So getting these younger people involved, it's just great. It's great to see. It's great to have younger generations seeing what's going on in the real world, as we call it, and helping out.
I've gotten a new outlook on the community. I've been able to see all sides, helped me learn just a lot about Fall River as a whole.
We like to get students in from 14 years of age and older. It's not about the Greater Fall River Community Food Pantry. It's about what the Greater Fall River Community Food Pantry does as an outreach. We want to reach out to the community. Most schools require that the students put in volunteer hours. We're a perfect example of receiving those students, and that way they get their hours accredited, and it gives them a good learning experience.
Volunteering here made you feel good, felt like you were helping out the community, and also it really helped me out with making my application stand out with having volunteer hours on them. Like when I'm applying for jobs, I've been on the hunt right now, and I've done a lot more interviews since I did charity work here. makes you really stand out, and also just feels good helping out the community.
I love hearing other people's lives, how other people live, other people's families. It's interesting, and I really like to do this work.
Come down and see what it's like. Come down and take an opportunity to help someone else. Come and see what's really happening in the world out there.
That's all for this edition of FRC Media News. Please visit our website at frmedia.org for the latest news and local information. FRC Media News airs Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Fridays at 5:30 p.m. For all of us here at FRC Media News, I'm Keith Tebow. Have a great long Veterans Day weekend. We'll see you next Thursday.